Welcome back to ILTV on the Hour. We're bringing you the biggest headlines from Israel and the Middle East in just 5 minutes. I'm Lidar Lazi. Let's get into all the top headlines at this hour. Israeli officials are holding an assessment as Hamas breaks the ceasefire in Gaza. The Air Force launched strikes in the Rafah area after reports of gunfire directed at Israeli troops. The details are still under investigation, and the IDF has yet to issue an official statement. Just a few days ago, Hamas terrorists emerged from a terror tunnel and opened fire on Israeli troops in 2 different incidents. And meanwhile, overnight, 2 more hostage bodies were returned to Israel, though Hamas did not say who they were returning. The Prime Minister's office and the IDF confirmed the identification of Ronen Engel and Suntaya Akrasi. There are still 17 slain hostages remaining in Gaza. On October 7, 2023, Engel was killed by Hamas in Nir Oz, while his wife Karina and their daughters Mika and Yuval were kidnapped. The following month, Karina, Mika, and Yuval were freed from Gaza as part of a ceasefire deal. It later emerged that Ronen had been slain in the kibbutz on October 7th and his remains taken captive. Engel was a photographer, a volunteer medic at the Magen David Adom ambulance service, a motorcyclist who enjoyed exploring Israel's nature, and an artist who used discarded scrap iron as his raw material. Akrasi, a 30-year-old Thai citizen, was also murdered on October 7, 2023, and his body taken into Gaza from the orchards of Kibbutz Be'eri. His death was pronounced on May 16, 2024. Earlier, Hamas returned a body that was later identified as 75-year-old Eliyahu or Churchill Margalit from Kibbutz Nir Oz. Margalit was murdered on October 7th and his body kidnapped into Gaza. His daughter Neely was also taken hostage and released in November 2023. And over the weekend, there were funerals for returned hostages. Hundreds gathered in Petah Tikva to bid farewell to slain hostage in Bar Hyman, 27 years old, who was abducted from the Nova Music Festival and murdered in Hamas captivity. Meanwhile, the first 3 hostages freed under the latest ceasefire deal have been released from Tel Aviv's Ichilov Medical Center and returned home to welcoming families. Omri Miran, Matan Zankauger, and Matan Angrest were discharged 4 days after undergoing extensive medical checks following more than 2 years in Hamas captivity. Miran told supporters, quote, "It's time to return to life, to return to family," while expressing solidarity with families still waiting for their loved ones. The 3 were among the last 20 living hostages freed under the U.S. brokered deal, and hospital officials said the men are in stable condition but face a long road of physical and psychological recovery. Their return has been celebrated across the country, even as the search continues for remaining hostages and the bodies still held in Gaza. And U.S. President Donald Trump is now threatening Hamas over the terrorist group's ongoing executions of civilians in Gaza. Trump posted over the weekend, "If Hamas continues to kill people in Gaza, which was not the deal, we will have no choice but to go in and kill them." Last week, Reuters reported that the group had killed 32 Palestinians. Later in the Oval Office, Trump said this to reporters.
"You said if they continue keep killing innocents in Gaza, that if that continues, the United States will go after them."
I know, I issued a strong statement, that's right.
But they used to be gangs, and now you're saying innocents. What made you think they're innocents now?
Well, I'm looking at what's happening, and that wasn't the deal that was made, and we'll see what happens. It's calmed down. It's a tough neighborhood, we know that. We have a commitment from them, and I assume they're going to honor that commitment. I hope they do. And I understand they brought back some additional bodies today. It's a rough deal when you think of it, right? Very.
And U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance and Middle East envoy Steve Witkoff will arrive in Israel this week. And we'll, of course, continue to update. Those are the latest updates at this hour. I'm Lidar Lazi. Thanks for watching.